everybody, and welcome to the 50,000 kilometer review on my GWM Cannon. I hope you're going to enjoy it. Make sure you stick around, yeah, because there's heaps and heaps of questions that you guys have been asking. I'm going to answer everything. It's a big review. It's going to take me a lot of editing, all right? So I hope you enjoy it. All right, here we go. All right, we are just about to hit 50,000 kilometers. When you look at my dashboard, remember to ignore the fuel water light, set up the diesel separator, because that is on because I got a broken wire, and my tire pressure warning light is on because I have no tire pressure sensors. We've just driven from Bribie, coming down the motorway. Not too much wind, but doing 100 the whole time, and we're getting 16.7.
Is it really going to do it on our tire?
No way. It's going to do it at 11:11. Are you serious? So we've got 16.7. Now that's with the 285/65 R18 tires as well. So they're big tires to be getting that sort of fuel economy with the 3-ton caravan on the back. Yeah, I forgot to mention the caravan's on the back. All right, here we go. Any second now. Our time, baby. 11:11, and then we're gonna hit 50. Oh my God! 50,000 kilometers. The GWM has survived. Let's kick off this review. Amazing fuel economy, 50,000 Ks, hardly any issues. Hopefully we can talk about absolutely everything this time. I've got so much to talk about. Be ready for this. So you just count me down, Danica.
And go.
Go. Here we go. Flat foot. 3-ton on the back. I don't know if I'm going to get up to 80. Surely we won't catch up to that truck. 45, 50, 60, 70, 80. Boom. 20.63 seconds. Now that's a bloody race car if you ask me.
Race car.
Right? Yeah, race car. Anyway, that's with the 3-ton van on the back, just sort of give you an idea on acceleration. Welcome to my 50,000 kilometer review on the GWM Cannon. This is a 2022 model, so we've owned this car for about 18 months. We've travelled all of Australia with a 3-ton caravan on the back. It's done insanely well. When I say that, you need to go back to the start and watch this Cannon tow the car from brand new, tow the caravan, sorry, all the way around Australia without any issues. It's been drama free, really. When we were looking at the GWM originally, we was tossing up between a 200 series Land Cruiser that was 10 years old, a brand new Trident or a 2-year-old Trident maybe, around the same price for the second-hand one, or a new one was about 10 grand more, I think it was, 10, 15 grand more. The Triton had 0 features in it really, so it was sort of a no-brainer when we seen how good the GWM was and how beautiful it drove on the test drive, and I don't know, every single feature under the sun. First thing I noticed when I first started driving the GWM on the test drive is it felt like it was like a Mercedes. I don't know, it just felt like, when I say Mercedes, it just felt like a premium European car, just with like ridiculous amounts of features everywhere, and just how nice all the finishes were. It just felt, I don't know, really nice inside. The GWM Cannon does not feel like a tradie ute. As I said, we've been towing the 3-ton caravan, which we're actually doing right now. So the van is on the back right now, so we're going away for the weekend. The car has towed everywhere you can think of in Australia, like Upper Cape York, the Gib, the Nullarbor, all the big, iconic, craziest roads. So it's done all that. We've been on all the beaches as well, so heaps of sand driving with the van on. It's performed insane. Now on the highway, like I'm on the highway right now, we're getting 17.6 on the fuel economy right now. Engine lights on, I'll talk about that soon. But yeah, we get really good fuel economy out of this thing compared to I don't know what I hear from like the Land Cruisers, or even what I hear from Ford Rangers and Mazda BT50s and stuff, that are getting quite high. But anyway, I'm not here to diss other brands, but this does get really good fuel economy. I've been asked a couple of times about buying used GWM Cannons. So obviously there's a lot of them around that people are selling, and you're probably going to save yourself about 10 grand to buy a used one. I don't see anything wrong with that. I just really wanted, like, when we were buying it, they were still pretty new. There wasn't many going for sale, second hand, for good prices anyway. Just obviously make sure it doesn't have too much aftermarket accessories. Heaps of people, when they put the bigger tyres on, they do the body mount chop on the front suspension. I'll show you that a bit later. Just keep an eye out for those things, because that needs to be engineered. So if they're trying to sell you that with it chopped and it's not engineered, you can get caught out with insurance and crap, or the new car warranty. They might whinge about something. But all the aftermarket stuff that you put on, just check it for like rust and stuff like that, because some of the aftermarket gear is a bit how you're going. But the cars overall, as long as it's been serviced, they're still going to have heaps of warranty. Like if you buy one that's 2 years old, you still got 5 years brand new car warranty. It's insane. So even buying one 5 years old, you're still going to have some new car warranty on it. It's pretty bloody good. So we've successfully taken this car and the caravan all the way to the highest point of Australia, all the way up to Cape York. Go and check them out. There's a bunch of episodes of all this. I've showed every single thing of doing that. It did it without issue. We sort of cruised up there 80 k's an hour the whole way, corrugation smashing, like destroyed it. The caravan had a bunch of issues with the suspension afterwards, and I had to get all that fixed. But the actual car, nothing. And we do have different, we got aftermarket suspension, but literally not an issue with the car. The car held together amazing. The van was like screws were coming undone and like shit was falling and whatever, but the car...
Which isn't a surprise.
Yeah.
Holy crap.
Yeah, it was crazy. It was crazy, but the car held up so good. Towing this caravan up hills, the GWM Cannon does struggle a little bit, but like any dual cab ute, especially a 4-cylinder diesel, it will struggle a little bit up hills. So on a steep ass incline that lasts quite a while, we're probably doing about 80 k's the whole way up it, which is not too bad.
We're full.
And
car's full. Yeah. Caravan's loaded.
We're well heavy. 60 is the slowest I've gone on a hill, and that was crazy. I think that hill that I'm talking about was near Cairns somewhere, and it was like winding up the hills up to like, I don't know where it was, where the scenic rail and all that goes. Then you got the likes of beach driving. So as long as you're dropping the tyres down with the van on, drop the tyres down on the car and the van if you want to around 18 to 20 psi. Turn the traction control off and then just hammer it, yeah? So that's how I get the van onto the beach in most spots, and it does all right. When you're driving the car on the beach just by itself, no van, all I do is I turn the traction control off, drop the tyres down to about 18 psi, and the car handles the beach all good. Just make sure you got the traction control off. You can also put it in manual mode and sort of hold second gear or third gear when you're driving on using your paddles, because sometimes the car will try to change up into a higher gear and then just try to bog down into the sand. This is any car driving on the beach. But on the GWM, that button there, turn your traction control off, that one. And then if you feel like if you're getting stuck a little bit as well, you can also throw in the rear diff lock. So the rear diff lock will get you out of most situations. And don't go on the beach without max tracks. And learn that one. Just carry max tracks around. If you're gonna go on the beach, go and spend $100 or $200 on 4 max tracks, just to be safe. The adaptive cruise control, I did a video a while back showing you how cool it was when the car was stock and all that. As soon as you put bigger tires on the Cannon, the adaptive cruise control just dies. I don't know what's going on with that. I think it needs to be recalibrated maybe or something. But the adaptive cruise control just doesn't work anymore. It'll like drive right up to somebody, right up their ass, and it feels like you're going to hit them. So it doesn't really brake or anything for you. I don't know the full issue with that. I'd like to maybe get that checked out, but I feel like they're just going to blame it on the tyres. Because as soon as I put the tyres on, it happened. Jason's one, as soon as I put the tyres on his one, it happened on his one as well. So I think we need to get that calibrated. Also with the cruise control, if you're driving in normal mode and you put the cruise on and you're on a highway, no van on, and you're doing 100, right? What happens is, as soon as it hits a hill, the car just doesn't downshift. Like it gets to like sort of backs off to 90, to 80, to 70, and then it's like, oh shit, do we need a downshift? And then it'll try to start speeding up, but because it's in normal mode, it just won't speed up. But if you put it in sports mode and have cruise control on, it's perfectly fine. So it downshifts and does what it has to do. So if I ever have to use cruise control, I have to have the car in sports mode, just so it changes gears. It's trying to be too economical or something, but yeah, I think that's a bit silly. One thing you notice as well when you're doing those hill climbs, if your ute is about to or doing a DPF burn, an auto burn, it loses about, I reckon, about 20 to 30% power. So you've hit this hill and you're hammering up the hill and you're going all good, then the car's like, oh, you know what, we should do a DPF burn. It does take some power away. So just keep that in mind. That's annoying as I don't like the power loss with the DPF burns, but when you're not towing, you would never notice it. But when you've got a big van on, you're going up a hill and you're like right, where's all my power going? Like, it's just, you definitely do notice it there. DPF burns. So manual DPF burns, if you're buying this ute to do just local driving and school runs and going out to get the milk and shit, this ute, you're gonna have to do manual DPF burns. I don't know if it's for everybody, if that happens to everybody, because I do see some of the people in like the Facebook groups not saying anything about it. But this ute, since we've got back from our trip, we've had to do manual DPF burns at least, I don't know, once a month at least. It's very, very frustrating because you pull up in your nice car and you're out the front and it's like, oh, guess what? We need to do a manual DPF burn. Then all your neighbours see your car revving its tits off out the front at about 2,000 to 2,500 RPM, which is pretty high. It makes a lot of noise. So, I don't know, I just feel like those manual DPF burns are quite embarrassing. When your car needs to do a manual DPF burn, it goes into limp mode. If your car goes into limp mode, you can still drive it using the paddles. In manual mode, you keep using the paddles. You can get the car to still do 100 k's an hour, but it is very, very down on power. Okay, so the GWM Cannon can do a burnout, so if anybody's interested. What I do is I stop the car, press traction control just off, I put the diff lock and have the car in eco. So rear diff lock, traction off and eco mode, the car will do a burnout. So you can do donuts. Really, it does really good donuts. You've seen me do donuts a bunch of times. I'll put a little clip here of me doing donuts. I'm really impressed by how much fun that is. You can also, on the spot, jump on the brake and the accelerator and all, let you do a burnout for some time, but it may throw, 100%, if you do any donuts or any burnouts, you definitely will get gearbox fault light on your dashboard, no matter what, it always comes up. And then if you start the car 3 to 5 times, it will go away. The really cool thing about the Cannon is every time it sees a speed sign, it actually, oh yeah, there's one there. So right now we're in a 70 zone, so it puts the 70 up on the dashboard. So all the time I know what speed limit it is. Because I always forget to look at the speed signs. But I think that's a really helpful feature. I really love that. My Cannon's air conditioning works perfectly. I do not have a problem with the air conditioning. Some people have mentioned that their air conditioning is not cold. Go get it checked out because ours is actually very, very good. Our ute has not overheated, so there's been heaps of people saying, oh, they're having overheating issues, and then the GWM couldn't figure it out, and I don't know, some people have had such a bad time that they've sold their car because they put a bad taste in their mouth for overheating. Nobody wants overheating in their car, especially these days. Like, we've figured that out now, yeah? No car should overheat. Our ute, on an extremely hot day, when we hit over the 40 degrees Celsius and we were somewhere over near the Nullarbor or something, I remember, our temperature did climb. So it climbed, but didn't go into the red, but it climbs up bloody close to it, yeah? So all the time it sits in the middle like it is now. So it always sits in the middle there. But on these really hot days, sometimes it creeps up just before the red there. So when it does that, all I do is back off because I'm thrashing the crap out of it. It's on like steep hills in boiling hot. My foot's flat to the floor. I can only imagine how hot the transmission's probably getting and whether that's causing the temperature gauge to go right over. But we're running it really, really hard. So when I back off and I just let it go nice, it just cools back down again and then it's all good. But I just noticed a huge difference when I was thrashing the crap out of it that it did climb that couple of times. And that's probably happened 3 or 4 times around Australia on really, really hot days. So I just keep an eye on it. But like anything, if you put a 3-ton caravan on the back of any car, it's gonna work it hard. So yeah, that's one thing there. So but no overheating at all. No overheating, no bubbling in our radiator, all that crap that people have mentioned. So there is definitely people who have mentioned that they've had overheating issues. Whether that's just 5 people out of all of Australia, but it's something that I have heard, and I see it is people's concerns. But majority is all good. Our ute is very comfortable. I recently drove a GWM Tank 500 and that had coil front and rear and it was super comfy. Now that felt like I was floating on nothing, so I have gotten used to the ute. The ute does have leaf springs in the back. It's somewhat rigid compared to a luxury SUV, so just keep that in mind. You are buying a ute that you can put a whole ton payload in the back of the tray, so of course it's got to have harder springs for that. One of our friends has a Ford Ranger and they had a GWM upgrade, and they put the hardest springs in that thing that it was literally rigid. The whole thing was just like completely rigid driving. And I was like, how are you driving all around Australia like this? But then I hop back in our unit, it's like, oh, this thing's floating like, oh, it's so beautiful. But the Tank 500 was like you're just gliding in a cloud. But it was like you weren't, it was also like too soft a little bit, in my opinion, because I do like to feel the road a little bit. You want to feel what's going on. All right, plenty of people have been asking me how to keep the digital speedo on the dash, yeah? So all you have to do, your lane keep assist needs to be off, and that'll just stay there. Easy as that. Or when your lane keep assist is on, just press OK. Let the lane keep assist will go away for a second, and you can look at the speedo. But then lane keep assist will come back up. Lane keep assist overrides everything. It'll stay on your dash the entire time. There's no getting away with that. I absolutely hate lane keep assist, and I use it never. When I drive the car, usually I turn it off. When I have the caravan on, I always turn it off. I really dislike it. I just feel like it takes the control away from your car. I feel like you're just cruising down the road and you like cut a corner a little bit because I'm a bit of a lazy driver. Then the car's like, ah! I just don't want any of that. I want to be in control of the car I'm driving, please. I do not like lane keep assist, but it does work well for people that like it. Danica likes it sometimes, I think.
It doesn't bother me. It doesn't do anything for me.
Yeah.
I feel it. I get what you're saying, and especially when you were driving and there's like I wouldn't use the explanation about being a lazy driver and cutting corners. I would use the explanation about trucks going past you. So you do move out of the way for them a little bit.
Yeah.
You ride the line. The car doesn't want you to ride the line, and then it sucks you back into the truck.
Yeah, let's go crash into a truck.
That's the thing I don't like. But so that happens really, and I got used to it. So you just know to hold the steering wheel tighter.
Yeah, you gotta hold the steering wheel tighter, otherwise your car's gonna crash you into shit. Yeah. That's a dumb feature, bro.
I get what you're saying, I agree, but I can't also be bothered turning it off every time I hop into the car.
I know.
I don't like it.
It should be just a button that you have to put one button.
Yeah.
But you gotta go through the feature. You gotta go like this. You gotta press this, then you gotta go lane support system, then you go to lane departure warning, lane keep assist, sorry, and then turn it off there. See, this button. But you gotta press a few buttons, so it's quite annoying. I don't like it. The ZF 8-speed transmission in this thing is amazing. It's probably one of the best features of the whole car. The way that it puts so much power to the wheels using a little 2-litre engine. Obviously the 2-litre engine's pretty good. That's pretty good performance-wise. But if it had a 6-speed box in it, I think it'd be a completely different car. But the 8-speed makes just super good power. The ute pretty much keeps up with every other dual cab ute in a race. Let's race them all. I want to go down to a drag strip and just race all the utes. I reckon it'll be hilarious. But it's very impressive, that gearbox. It knows what gears it needs to be in all the time, and it's just, it's always got power. These days when I'm towing, I just put the car into drive, turn the lane keep assist off, right? Away we go. Nothing else, just in drive. I leave it in drive all the time. Normal mode, don't even change anymore. I don't like adjust, whatever. It's probably a good idea to put it in sports mode, but I just leave it in normal. I've left it in normal for a long time now. Normal mode, drive, away you go. I haven't had any rust issues with the car. People always ask me, people think because it's Chinese you're going to have rust issues. LDV had a huge issue with body rust, I think, in their cars, or I don't know, whatever rust they had. But they had a really big nightmare with that. And obviously all the Chinese brands suffer because of that. That people think, oh, was that the GWM? They can't remember, whatever. We haven't had any rust issues with the car. Our whole underbody of our ute does have surface rust from me driving on all the beaches and never washing the underbody. So I've never washed underneath the ute. I've had the ute down at Barton's at Capella Bar trying to get some warranty stuff sorted. Been a bit annoying because we've had sort of an ongoing issue where the car's not starting properly. So as soon as the car gets a little bit low on fuel, the engine cranks for ages before it starts. And that's not because I'm out of fuel. The fuel light's only just come on, so I should still have another 50 k's to drive before it runs out completely. But as soon as it comes on, the car starts running a bit funny, and it gets really, really hard to start. So we're having some issues there. They're trying to figure it out. They want to pull the fuel tank out next week. So that's booked in. So I'm not sure what's going to happen there. The other concerns, I feel like the fuel pump in the fuel tank is a little bit noisy. It makes a bit of a whining sound. I'll put that on this video as well. So the only other two warranty issues that we've had is Ava's seatbelt here at the driver's side rear won't retract. Like if you force it, it does, but it doesn't retract. So they're going to replace the seatbelt. Also the driver's seat, the cushion, where you get in and out, the cushion's gone and it's gone all soft. So that there's also getting replaced under warranty. So with the stock suspension, you'll notice a shutter. If you've got 3-ton caravan on the back and stock suspension, you'll notice a shutter in the back, because what happens is the driveline angle is like just a little bit off its favorite position. And it just causes a bit of a vibration on takeoff. As soon as you put harder springs in the back and stop the caravan pulling the back of the car so far down, that shutter fully goes away. At about 40,000 Ks, our GWM started having a clunk when you took off, and also sometimes between first and second there was a bit of a clunk there. We couldn't figure out what it was. I spoke to GWM, another one up at Sunshine Coast. He was super helpful, fella up there. What he said is put it in eco mode and see if it still does it, and it didn't. So what he was able to diagnose doing that is the transfer case oil, when it gets worn out, the torque on demand system, which is the whole forward drive system in this car, is called torque on demand, 4x4 on demand. And what it does is only gives you all the proper forward drive experience only happens when one of the wheels starts spinning or whatever, and the car's like, oh, we do need forward drive, so it locks it in. It locks it in very smoothly when the oil was new, but when I got to 40,000 Ks, which the transfer case oil is due at 45,000 Ks, it started to get a bit crap, and I felt this clunking between gears on first and second when you're like thrashing it, because when you put your foot down, like from a standstill, you put your foot down, the torque on demand system would come in, but it was coming in really severe, so I was like, doom, like that. Anyway, that's been fixed now because we put new transfer case oil, and it drives like brand new again. So if you ever feel that, just get the transfer case oil replaced. And there's thicker ones or something that you can buy as well. That's I'll put it in the description. That's a bit thicker oil that you can use for the transfer case oil that won't break down as fast. Our stereo, we thought like the stereo system works so good. The Bluetooth connects, like it all works. I don't seem to have any problems with the stereo. We put this little device in here called Smart AI Box. That gives us a little bit of grief sometimes with connecting, and sometimes it's like just a bit shitty. I don't know if it's something to do, maybe the USB cords worn, who knows, but sometimes that doesn't connect. But the stereo itself has been really perfect, sound quality is really nice, etc. But recently we did install an amplifier from Savage Tech that has made this stock stereo into like a really, really awesome aftermarket sound system feel, you know, heaps louder. We can't show you though because we'll get copyright. Yeah, copyright. I could play you some like church music or something. Oh, you're allowed? I don't know, I'll probably get copyrighted from Jesus. Right. The GWM Cannon has only impressed me all the time. It's one of the cars that every single time I look at and I walk, I still look back at it like, that's a sexy ute, man. That's a sexy car. I love to drive it. Every day I get in, I'm like, oh, this car's so nice. It's really, really beautiful. So my final thoughts, go out, test drive one yourself, experience it. I am in no way sponsored for any of this stuff, and if I was, I wouldn't speak about any of the bad crap. But anyway, I wish I was sponsored. I wish GWM sponsored me, because you know I deserve that. You know, don't have to think of it. Sure, baby. Yeah. Go out and buy yourself a Canon, or if you've already got a Canon, I hope you're enjoying it. If you've got any questions, throw them in there. I'll answer everybody. I make a big thing about me making sure I answer everybody. If you've enjoyed the video, please subscribe, check out the rest of the channel, and just like this video for us. Good morning. We're just about to take the GWM down to Barton's at Capalaba to get some warranty stuff checked out. These are the issues that I've been having. I'll just start the car up now, see if it does it. There she goes. Listen to that. Right, so I've got that. There's some heaps worse versions of that happens. the fuel pump. I don't know if you just heard that, but I've got some more videos of that, so I'll add that all in here. But I got the fuel pump's quite noisy. It's hard to start whenever it's a little bit low on fuel. On the driver's seat, that bit of cushion's sort of collapsed just there. Now I've got in and out of this car many times, obviously doing the caravan and stuff. But obviously, now 50,000 Ks, what is it, about 18 months old. It shouldn't be collapsing yet. But as I said, I do get in and out of the car a lot because you're obviously jumping in, reversing, and getting the caravan hooked up and getting back in, blah, blah, blah. Then you've got around this side where Ava sits. So that seat belt, see it doesn't retract. So you pull that seat belt out and it just retracts and then leaves that bit there. So you can sort of force it up. I've cleaned the hell out of this. GWM even tried cleaning it as well just to get it to work. So it seems like an actual issue with the mechanism. So GWM's taking the car for a whole week. They are giving me a loan car, but that cost me $15 a day, which is okay because I'd rather have a car. I'm not going to argue with that. They've been GWM service. I've had a little bit of tiny little not like an argument, but I threw my hands up a little bit because they weren't listening to me just in regards to some of the issues I was having. It was just like, yeah, we'll get the guys to check it out, but I wanted like a little bit more service than that. I wanted to like really actually speak to one of the mechanics just to get to the bottom of the issue, because we've been that starting issue's been around for quite a while, and I really wanted them to have a look at that. The noisy fuel pump absolutely kills me. I really hate that. I'll start the car back up because I've actually got a noisy alternator bearing as well, they reckon. Underneath the bonnet here, I'm sure you can hear that in the background, that extra grinding sound. So I think they've ordered a new alternator for it, so that's going to get fitted in this week, that it's there as well. And they're going to pull the fuel tank out of the car, check out this fuel pump, see if something's going on in there. Now, it does worry me that there could be, like from bad fuel back in the day, could be some like maybe some algae or something sitting in the bottom of the tank that every time it gets low that's clogging it up or something. But it just sounds, every single time it's low on fuel we lose fuel pressure. So it's like I've changed the fuel filter and I go to start the car back up and it just cranks for ages. Anyway, I'm going to take this over to GWM now. They'll give me a car. We'll just see what happens. I hope there's some really positive results and I hope that all my issues are sorted. Look at the loan car they gave us. Alright, that's not bad. They said because we're off the road for a whole week, they gave us the same car as what we already have. Well, they gave us a silver one. It's really weird looking at it when it was parked in the driveway without the lift kit and without the big tyres. It just looks so little. I don't know, I'm really used to our one. It just looked really low, really little. But yeah, it's good to see our one after 50,000 Ks still drives like brand new. So that one there, when I was driving that one, that's the X as well, so it's a little bit different interior. But when I was driving that one, I'd noticed no difference. So Danica reckoned the turbo lag was a little bit less on this one. So I don't know, she might be noticing that because the tyres are a lot smaller. So our one might have a little bit of a difference. But I have heard of some update to do with this turbo lag through like the Facebook groups. No idea how real that is. And just with those warranty concerns I was just talking about, I don't want to bring any of that up right now. I just wanted to get these few things sorted, get the car perfect again. Away we go. Guys, I got my GWM back. Yes. I've actually missed this car, yeah? Obviously we drove that X for a week, but it's not like when you're driving someone else's car, you gotta be heaps careful. The kids are like, oh, don't put your feet on things and like whatever. But I missed it so much. It's back now. So while I was over at Barton's, had a good experience too, yeah? They obviously gave me that GWM Cannon X as a courtesy car. Didn't charge us for it either, so that was really nice. And we had that car for almost 2 weeks, right? This is off the road for 2 weeks. So it's coming under the bonnet. We had this really big noise from under here, ended up being the alternator, yeah? So now we've got, where are you? Down there, ready? Brand new alternator. Brand spanker. So we got no more noise from the motor because that was bloody noisy. So I'm not sure what happened there, but anyway, warranty, they sorted it. Coming into the back, I hope the car's not messy back here. Ah, pretty good. Got this new seatbelt. That wasn't retracting. Ah! They've actually done all the stuff over here This cushion in the driver's seat was all gone flat here. Not that bad, but it was like, I'm like, I want that new one, yeah. Boom, new seat base. Happy days. The other issue was, one of the things is they didn't clean my service light, yeah, for every time I brought it back. The service, they didn't do it. Then 2 more times I brought it back, including when I just got it back now. But when I picked it up, it wasn't cleared. But guess what? I'm fine with that, because now, because I work as a mobile mechanic in Brisbane, yeah, anybody wanting their GWM serviced, I'm going to specialise in these, because I know so much about the GWM now. Obviously, after owning one, travelling around Australia in it. If you want to get, look, promoting myself here. If you want to get your GWM serviced, I'm your guy, all right? Anyway, because I'm working as a mobile mechanic now, for these, I bought the computer to reset the service light. So when I got it back and it wasn't reset, I was actually like, yes, because I got to test it out on my own car, the new computer. So I got to put a little video up of me using that computer very shortly. But I need to get this 50K review out. Other thing, I had a really noisy fuel pump. I'll put a little video up. I don't know if I'm going to put it wherever it is on this video. The fuel pump was very noisy. So every time I went to start it with a key in the morning, because that's the longest time with you can hear it priming up, my fuel pump, and then it was slow to start and all that stuff. So it wasn't, whenever it was a little bit low on fuel, like the fuel light's just coming on, it was really hard to start. I'll show you that here as well. But GWM pulled the fuel tank out. Finally, I'm glad they finally did it, because I've complained about this for quite a while, yeah. Since over in, I think I complained about it in Darwin, then in Cairns, or wherever we were, Townsville or whatever, and then back down here as well. And every time they kept saying could not fault and blah blah blah. So I took it to them completely empty. Then obviously it faulted. So they dropped the fuel tank out of it. Found the fuel pump to have an open circuit. So I don't know, it must be working super hard for some reason. And I don't know why it was doing it more when it was low on fuel. Bit weird. But that they put a new fuel pump in it, and now it's perfect. Makes no noise. Makes no noise. I don't know. Here, I'll quickly test it for you. Yeah, I'll give it a little start up. Oh, no noise. Every time I used to start it with a key like that, just before it started, the fuel pump used to howl, like fully howl. Like that. Anyway, I can't remember if I've even showed you out here. Here's a look under the bonnet of your GWM. Obviously mine's covered in mud because I do a lot of crap with it. Air filter, brake fluid, you know, coolant, your radiator, overflow bottle, battery, messy battery system. But yeah, just having a squeezy underneath the hood in case anyone's interested. What about underneath? You just want to see underneath? Underneath we've got the Savage Tech nitrogen suspension. Now mind you, I've been around Australia with this thing. Everything's holding up pretty good. We've got surface rust on basically everything because I never wash it after I come off the beach, unfortunately. Too lazy, yeah? Vic Offroad winch under here. Bunker Industries. Check that out, mate. That's a mad winch too. It's so funny. The other day we used that winch to pull down this concrete bollard. Oh, so good. It worked out heaps good. I've got the Hustler wheels from Aussie Tyres. My Cannon's fitted with these 18 by 9 inch Hustler rims from Aussie Tyres. Now it's got the 285 65 18s. Now if you want to put these on, these are a positive 10 offset. I've got those on there. Oh, I've got the wheels turned so you can't really see, but they give you a little bit of poke. See at the back here? Bit of poke at the back. But coming in here, because these tyres are so big, they were scrubbing on this body mount in here, yeah? So there's the body mount. So you can see that I have given that the old choppity dot. So don't judge me too much on my beautiful chop job. I have got like the likes of Savage Tech. I'm gonna get it done at some stage and book it in, but I just wanted to get it done and out of the way for now. And he's gonna plate that up and make it nice and pretty at some stage in this car's life, but not today, right? See over here? So obviously if you look at your body mount, it's not all chopped out like that. Still just as strong and blah blah blah. It's all good, strong, happy days. I'll get that fixed up at some stage, but you know, so you have to chop that so you can get the bigger tyres on there. Otherwise, if you want the positive 10 offset on your rims, go for 285 60 R18 and you won't have to do any chop. But what I have found is a friend of mine, we put on the standard wheels We put 285 65 18, same size tyres as these on the standard wheels, and there's no scrub whatsoever. And that was we did a 2-inch spacer lift on that one, but I don't even think you needed that. I reckon these tyres would have fit on there on the stock wheels at stock height with no scrub. Pretty good. Anyway, there's me body mount chop. That, don't judge me on that. No comments about the body mount chops. Now my ute looks different. Oh yeah, I forgot to bring this up. So my ute looks different now. I was doing a video trying to make, I'm doing a video at the moment trying to make our caravan and car legal, yeah? So, not that we were ever illegal, but just trying to make our weights work better, yeah? Because whatever. So I got rid of the tent, unfortunately, gone. The old rack's gone, and also the rack off the roof, platform off the roof is gone. So we've lost out on our LED light bar that was up there. That's unfortunate, but I'm just trying to get the weights down. Still got the LED light bar in the Savage Tech bull bar here, in the Beast bar. That works mint, you know, like when you need to use it. 2 was overkill, but God, it was bright. So the Savage Tech roller shutter, yeah? So these struts, I've got how much water I got coming in. Is what it is, mate. Mine doesn't seal because I've had a couple of different racks on top of this. Don't look at this too much, yeah? But I've tried to seal up the holes and like, whatever, you know, whatever, it's all good. Yes, in here, this lining's held up heaps good too, so none of that's even really coming off. So that lining, what a great idea. Instead of scratching up the metal tub or having to buy one of those tub liners, it's a bloody great idea that they come with that standard. My step still works like the day I bought it. And then coming up, I'm going to step on the step, opening it up. This bad boy works fine still. Savage Tech roller shutter still services all good. You might notice all these little orange tabs. I fitted one of those the Savage Tech dust seal. It was all good, but it just made my tailgate a bit harder to open and close, because when you closed it, you'd have to force it. That was okay to force it shut. Oh, my bad. So it was okay to force shut, but to open it up you had to put one hand here and then one hand on the handle. So you'd always have to use 2 hands or use your shoulder and try to open the tailgate rather than just go like that. So the kids, I just need like the kids to be able to open it. It was annoying me because whenever the kids needed something out of the back, they could never get it open. And I was worried, because you had to keep putting that pressure on there, I was worried that they were going to break that handle. Anyway, so our car's copping a beating at the moment. There's a little dent here that I'm a bit sad about. I don't know how that happened. But then down here, look what I did with the caravan jockey wheel. I put this new jockey wheel on the caravan, not even thinking about where I was sitting. Then when I jackknifed the caravan, like I always do, but I forgot because I put this new fold-up jockey wheel on there. I forgot it was there. Smash it straight into the back of the ute, man. Come on, don't worry about that. I didn't have any bolts small enough to hold this, but I'm gonna replace that later. Yeah, I promise. It's a good job, yeah? There it is, the GWM Cannon 50,000 kilometer review. I really hope that some of you stuck around to watch the whole thing. I don't really have much else to talk about, surely. But if you've got questions, ask them. I've probably forgot things. I tried really hard to remember like everybody's questions and put, I don't know, put effort into answering every single thing that I've been asked about the GWM since we've owned it. But if you have any more questions, throw them in there. I answer everybody. I'm pretty spot on with like answering every single person that asks on our YouTube channel. I love it. So I love to see like people enjoying it. If you don't, then I'm sorry. I'll try my best, mate. But anyway, GWM Cannon. That's the 50,000 kilometer review, guys. See you later.